I'm so bored. It's Darius! Doggy! That was so great.
Awesome.
Hi, Darius.
Hi Amy.
Hey, friends.
Hey everybody.
Today is a great day because we have a special guest, my friend Darius Stubbs, who is an amazing theater performer. So he's an actor, but he's also a director, and he's a playwright, and he's a poet. It's a lot of things.
And I play the ukulele sometimes.
That is awesome. Doggy agrees.
Oh.
Lucky for us, Darius is here today to talk about poet and writer Nikki Giovanni. Ba-da-da-da! So Darius, fill us in.
Oh, yeah.
Let's hear about it.
Well, Nikki Giovanni is a poet and an essayist and a novelist and a professor.
Wow.
She was born on June 7th, 1943. So that means she's 77 years old.
Oh,
today.
okay.
She was born in Knoxville, Tennessee, and she lived in a lot of different places, moved around a little bit. She lived in Cincinnati, Ohio for a little bit, and Wyoming, and then she went to college, Fisk University, which is in Nashville, Tennessee. She graduated with honors, which means she did really, really, really well. She's an excellent student. After she graduated, she published her first book of poetry, and she just kept writing ever since then.
Wow. So she was pretty young when she started getting published.
Yeah, she was in her early 20s,
Wow.
and had just sort of become an adult, lived in the adult world, and just kind of like hit the ground running,
Wow.
as they say. So, and since then she's got lots of different awards. She was nominated for a Grammy, and she's gotten keys to cities and all kinds of important things like that.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
There's a movement that she's a part of, right?
Right. So when she first published her first book, it was in the mid '60s, and during that time there was this movement called the Black Arts Movement, and in that movement there were lots of Black artists and painters and writers and poets and actors who were doing work and creating art that really celebrated Black life and Black culture. She was an important person in the Black arts movement, and that's sort of how she sort of became known in the world. And right now she is a professor of English at Virginia Tech University in Virginia.
Wow. She sounds pretty amazing.
She's done a lot of things.
Yeah, that is so cool.
Yeah. And I've actually got a biography that she wrote. It's really short about her own life that I would like to share. Can I share that?
Yeah, that would be great. We would love to hear that.
Awesome. I was asked to do a biography, so this is it. I am 77 years old. I highly recommend Old Age. It's fun. I've been awarded an unprecedented 7 NAACP Image Awards, which makes me very, very proud. I've been nominated for a Grammy, been a finalist for the National Book Award. I am very proud to have authored 3 New York Times and Los Angeles Times bestsellers, highly unusual for a poet. I'm a university distinguished professor at Virginia Tech. I don't have a lot of friends, but I have good ones. I have a son and a granddaughter. My father, mother, sister, and middle aunt are all deceased, literally making me go from being the baby in my family to being an elder. I like to cook, travel, and dream. I'm a writer. I'm happy.
Wow, that was great. I love that biography. You know what? I really enjoy the part where she talks about old age.
Yeah.
And everyone should try it out.
Absolutely. I think it's really fun. She doesn't really take herself too seriously, and she didn't really focus a lot on the awards and things that she's done, but really talks about her family and her connection to those people, and I really think that it's beautiful.
That's awesome. And something that's interesting that you've told me is that a lot of Nikki's work relates to the people she knows.
Yeah. A lot of her work has, and even the first book of poetry that she wrote that we were talking about earlier, that came about as a way to deal with the passing of her grandmother. Her grandmother had passed away, and she wrote these poems to sort of work through that loss and those bad feelings and sad feelings that she was having, and it really touched a lot of people throughout the world. And I think that that's really thinking about and talking about the people that are in her family and the way that she's connected to them really is her main focus of her work, and it's touched a lot of people.
That's really awesome. And I think that's a really great tool for us as writers is sometimes, things that happen in our lives and writing about them or writing about the people in our lives, it really helps us deal with those things.
Yeah, it's a good way to process those feelings.
Yeah. So, do you have some poems to share with us today?
Yeah, I brought a couple of my favorite Nikki Giovanni poems, and I can share a couple of those with you right now.
Awesome, that'd be great.
Awesome. Nikki Rosa by Nikki Giovanni. Childhood remembrances are always a drag if you're Black. You always remember things like living in Woodlawn with no inside toilet. And if you become famous or something, they never talk about how happy you were to have your mother all to yourself and how good the water felt when you got your bath from one of those big tubs that folk in Chicago barbecue in. And somehow when you talk about home, it never gets across how much you understood their feelings as the whole family attended meetings about Hollydale. And even though you remember, your biographers never understand your father's pain as he sells his stock and another dream goes. And though you're poor, it isn't poverty that concerns you. And though they fought a lot, it isn't your father's drinking that makes any difference, but only that everybody is together. And you and your sister have happy birthdays and very good Christmases. And I really hope no white person ever has cause to write about me because they never understand. Black love is Black wealth, and they'll probably talk about my hard childhood and never understand that all the while I was quite happy. Legacies by Nikki Giovanni. Her grandmother called her from the playground. "Yes, ma'am? I want you to learn how to make rolls," said the old woman proudly. But the little girl didn't want to learn how because she knew even if she couldn't say it, that would mean when the old one died, she would be less dependent on her spirit. So she said, "I don't want to know how to make no rolls," with her lips poked out. And the old woman wiped her hands on her apron saying, "Lord, these children." And neither of them ever said what they meant. And I guess nobody ever does. Quilts by Nikki Giovanni. Like a fading piece of cloth, I am a failure. No longer do I cover tables filled with food and laughter. My seams are frayed, my hems falling, my strength no longer able to hold the hot and cold. I wish for those first days, when just woven, I could keep water from seeping through, repelled stains with the tightness of my weave, dazzled the sunlight with my reflection. I grow old, though pleased with my memories. The tasks I can no longer complete are balanced by the love of the tasks gone past. I offer no apology, only this plea. When I am frayed and strained and drizzle at the end, please, someone cut a square and put me in a quilt that I might keep some child warm and some old person with no one else to talk to will hear my whispers and cuddle near.
Oh my gosh, that was so great. Thank you so much for reading those poems. You were a great reader and actor.
Thanks.
I loved when you did the voices.
Thanks.
Darius, do you have an activity for us today?
I do have an activity.
All right, let's get ready for it. Come on.
Okay, so today we're going to write a poem. So Nikki Giovanni, when she wrote poems, she really focused on the people who are in her life and her relationships and her friends and her family. So we're going to do something like that. We're going to write a poem about our friends and our family and the people in our communities.
Awesome. So are there some rules?
Yeah, so there's 3 rules, okay? Rule number 1, you're going to think about somebody who is in your life. You're going to pick a person who you know but doesn't live with you. Okay, so if you live with your grandma, you won't write a poem about your grandma. You write a poem about somebody else, right? But you really want to pick somebody who's important to you or who you do fun things with. Really find somebody that means something to you.
All right. And then?
Rule number 2, you're going to pick 3 to 5 words that describe that person, right? So, for example, if I was going to write a poem about my dad, right? If I picked 5 words, I might say tall. I might say basketball, because whenever I go see him, we'll go play a game of basketball, right? I might say ears, because he has big ears. I might say bald, because he has no hair on his head, right? I might say funny, because he tells really good jokes, right? So they can be, physical things, like what they look like, what they sound like, or even things that you do with them. 3 to 5 words.
Okay.
And then you're going to write 1 line of poetry using each descriptive word that you picked. So, for example, if I wrote the poem about my dad and I used the word bald, I might write a line that sounds like this. My dad's bald head glimmers in the moonlight.
Oh, I love that.
Something like that, right? And then I would just keep doing that for every word that I wrote.
My dad's bald head also glimmers in the moonlight.
Bald heads tend to do that.
They do. They're shiny.
They are.
Okay. So we've already kind of started writing our poem, and I think we should do the poem about your dad.
Awesome. That's great.
Yeah. All right. So we kind of had, what were those description words?
Oh, wow.
We definitely had bald.
We had bald. That was 1. Let's see. Tall, I think, was 1.
Basketball.
Basketball was 1.
And funny.
Ears.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Funny. Yeah.
Well, ears and funny. All right. Will you do us the honors of reading our poem?
Absolutely. My dad's bald head glistens in the moonlight. He's so tall, he bends to get through doorways. Together, dribbling the basketball, his ears wave in the summer breeze. What a funny-looking guy.
That was awesome.
It's pretty good.
That is a great poem. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for being here
That was
today.
a lot of fun.
It was so fun.
Yeah.
So now we know how to write a poem in the style of Nikki Giovanni and, talking about personal people who are important to us.
Yeah.
And things we do with them.
Absolutely.
Darius, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
coming on the show today. I'm so happy that you're here, and thank you all for watching at home. As always, you can check out more episodes of Playing with a Purpose at lakeerieink.org, and of course, other amazing writing programs. It was awesome learning about Nikki Giovanni today and writing a poem with you.
Thanks.
I had a really great
It
time.
was a lot of fun.
It was. I'm so happy. And you know what? Doggy and I, we were wondering if maybe you would play the ukulele again?
Definitely.
Really?
Yeah.
We should dance. Come on, guys. Get up and dance. Thanks. Bye, friends.
Bye.